Good afternoon, everyone. This is Brad Matheny. Today is the 19th of August. This is a recap of the markets using my new BigMouth strategy. We've got the buy triggers here on the 10-minute, sell trigger here, buy trigger here. This is on 10-minute. This is a 2-minute chart showing you how we can attempt to buy into this trend. So hypothetically, we have this bullish trend all the way up until here. Then we have this bearish trend from here all the way down, setting up a nice clean move on the 10-minute chart. Now, on the downward trend here, once we get into this sell trigger and we get confirmation right over here, every single one of these moves, these tops, are sellable all the way down until we get confirmation of the buy, which came right at the end of the market here on the 10-minute. Now, these counter trend buys, you could target them if you want for very small profits, but this gives you a very clean indication of what's going on. Same thing here with these bullish triggers. You know, when you're getting over here and you get this buy trigger, essentially you can take advantage of these lows and these rolling trends here to try to capture an upward price move. And yes, my cat woke up and is whining at me about things. So now, very clean trending, obviously, on the 10-minute. And of course, a bit more mixed down here on the 2-minute. You know, if I were to come over here and switch this to a 5-minute, it would look a little better. You can see the rotation here. Much cleaner. Buy triggers through here, little sell trigger here, buy trigger up here that invalidated, sell trigger all the way down, a buy down here at the bottom, and a buy up. So again, the BigMouth strategy is doing exactly what I would hope it would do, is nail some of these moves. So let's take a look at the NASDAQ. Same type of setup. Buy trigger back here, aligning with the buy triggers here, moving up into a 5-minute sell trigger here, buy, sell. This is a secondary sell trigger right here, all the way down into a buy trigger here. No buy trigger down here on the NASDAQ on the 10-minute. Interesting that we're getting this big breakdown move, right? Okay, let's take a look at the Dow Jones. So we get this buy, sell. This is the 5-minute. Sell, buy, secondary buy. Comes up, sell mode here, all the way down into a buy mode here on the 5-minute. No real buy trigger over here yet. It takes, remember, this is a breakaway system. So again, we are reaching oversold territory, but we don't have that breakaway trend yet. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. Buy triggers back over here, all the way up to 115. Sell trigger bright and early, right up here in early trading. Caught a nice solid breakdown move, 2,200 bucks. And again, got a little buy trigger here on the 5-minute. We're getting some upward trending here. Don't have confirmation here, so this is a scenario where, you know, modality or modally, think of it as bull bear, bull bear. You know, this is telling you that we're building some momentum in a downtrend. Let's take a look at the gold. Gold bearish all the way down today. You can see this breakdown trend. You can see we moved into this breakdown trend here with a buy trigger here. This is what I'm telling you with regards to Fibonacci price theory. So you've got these low levels here, and you would need to use Fibonacci price theory in this example where we get this breakdown in trend off of this low right here, right there, or these rolling lows here. This would be our breakdown in gold. This is where the BigMouth system, because they're independent, there's a buy system and a sell system. They're independent. This is the secondary trigger. We continue to move downward. We did not get a sufficient pullback to the upside to qualify as overbought. So again, this is failure of the buy trigger breaking down into this mode here. Let's take a look at uranium or take a look at a couple of stocks. Uranium, really big breakdown again. It all looks the same. Little rotation here on the 5 minute. General bearish trending here. We had some rotation prior to this. Let's come over to my spider sectors. Look at energy. Energy was neutral. We're getting some bottoming triggers here, a buy trigger here, a buy trigger here. So we've moved into oversold territory. We're kind of setting up this triple low right across here. Might be good for energy to try to find a bottom in this area. We shall see. Fairly narrow overall, about $1 move today. Utilities, bullish trend here on the 10 minute, bullish here. Again, we got to use Fibonacci to try to basically track these recent highs. As soon as we get above those highs, we're moving into kind of a bullish trend here. So again, that's one of the faults of the system that I will be working on to try to fix. Caught a pretty nice move overall. I mean, utilities were up from today. They were up almost a full percent. It's a pretty nice move on utilities. XLK, technology, sell trigger, all the way down, sell trigger, secondary sell, all the way down. Nice and clean. Obviously, a fairly big move. XLB, very sideways. So look at these moves. Buy, all the way up, roll into sell, buy. Now you can see that we have these lows. These are designed to be used with traditional technical indicators. So we're getting into this basing low here. And again, decent little moves, So if we look at here or here, you had a 40-cent move up. You had a 30-cent move down. And then, of course, these little tiny moves, 9 cents and maybe 10 cents. So that's in basic materials. XLP is consumer staples, rally into a bullish trend, moved into a bearish trend. At the very end of the day, you can see that we broke into this kind of rally phase here. So I would expect us to get into a buy trigger here. We got into a late little buy here on the 5 minute, but you can see buy, went sideways, sell, rolled up, sell again, buy, pretty much sideways, but it didn't get killed. I mean, it didn't get destroyed. XLY, bullish back over here, bullish back there, all the way up. This was a nice move. I mean, this was a very nice move. Up 1%, bearish downward, buy trigger here at the end of the day. XLI, again, bullish, up. It's pretty good for catching general trending. Bullish, bearish pullback. Remember, you want to try to look at the highs when you're trying to look at scenarios like this. We end up getting a breakaway trend here, really here. And we continue upward in this area. Then we get the sell trigger back into a buy trigger here. Not bad. Overall, not bad at all. XLC, communication sector, and you can see breaking down from back over here, which is over here, big breakdown trend, moving all the way down into here. Let me just draw the bullish trends here, and then the bearish trend here, and you can see again, very clean, bearish, into bearish, into very slight bullish rotation here. Very clean. That's what I was hoping to do with this indicator, is to give you guys the ability to pinpoint and target the solutions. Now, obviously, if you use my other indicator, the pressure exhaustion system, make sure that's the right one. That is not the right one. So we would be looking at pressure exhaustion. That's the one I want. And what we have here with the pressure exhaustion system is a mechanism of generating trending. So when we get into this cell trigger here, we're looking for the pressure exhaustion system to break below. Let me come in here, turn off the accumulated pressure like that. Okay. What we're looking for is the pressure exhaustion system to get below this -1 threshold level. That tells us that we're getting a pretty solid confirmation of a downtrend. Same thing right here. Getting below this lower level, which is -2.5, indicates extreme trending. Okay. So now when we move back up here above this +1 level, this indicates that pressure to the downside has been eliminated. Technically, this is bullish pressure over here until we get back below this level here. So this is bearish. And this is all part of the gunslinger tools. But you can see this is bearish. And this is bullish. So as you're moving through here, you start to get this weakening trend right here. You can see that we're moving into bullish trending right over in here. That's all bullish trending. We get this big breakdown here and this sell trigger here, which is the beginning of today, it looks like. 19th. Yeah, well, actually, I got to make sure I'm in the right time zone here. New York. Yeah, beginning of the time zone here, we get into this deep selling mode. Stay in that selling mode until right here. This is where we turn green. So this is all basically selling all morning long, and we turn bullish right here as we turn into this buy trigger, moving into bullish trending. This is all bullish trending right here, all the way over here. You can see we stayed up in bullish trending. So the idea here, guys, is it's very clear evidence of directional trending, giving you guys the opportunity to trade it. So let's go take a look at XLV. XLV is a bit more sideways, opened up today with a nice rally, clear bullish trending right here, carrying up, moves down right there. That means we're done, out of trending. We moved into bearish trending here in an upward mode. That's literally right here. So you have your buy trigger from basically here to here, and anything you can get in that mode is available to you. Obviously, the breakdown right over here, which should be right up in this area, is the first trigger that we're getting into weakening trending. Now we have a sell trigger here that moves into selling down in this area. And as soon as we break back up into this area, which is right over here, that means essentially the selling is over. This didn't really go anywhere. Okay, so we're in buy mode here. You can look for buy triggers like right here. This is a decent little buy trigger, shooting up, getting out of the buy trigger here. This was our little sell trigger. And you can see it gives you an opportunity. It's not gonna, it's kind of like catching the train when it takes off. This is a 26-cent move here. Not huge, but on a 0 or 1 day option, it's enough to try to make a profit out of. You can see we're still bullish until we get over into this area. So at this point, this counter trend move, you can try to trade it. You can see that we get the trigger right here, breaking down until right here. That gives us our trade trigger to the downside. And really, it rolls right over to about here, goes nowhere. And again, it just moves sideways. XLF, big sideways trending. Buy triggers as of yesterday, rallying up. Again, we get out pretty much right over here on this breakdown move, right over here. Big rally, move into a sell trigger, get a solid sell move all the way down. You know, in theory, we could get out anywhere at this level or at this level. It's pretty flat. Pretty hard to kind of miss this, right? Very clean, upward trending, very clean, downward trending right over in this area, considering this trigger and confirmation right down here. This actually went bearish right over here. So that's the pressure indicator indicating we now have downward trending. We just don't have confirmation on this longer term chart. This downward pressure right down here is a pretty good indication that price pressure is pointing to the downside. What would be concerning for me is if we got above this level here, this middle level, that would tell me that we're kind of weakening, softening on the downward pressure, and that could be the end of the trend. Okay, lastly, XLRE, big move up, big buy trigger here. We kind of buy these lows. So what we're looking at here, big move up, buying these lows, big move, well, medium move up, and a pretty solid rally on the way out. Okay, and look at this, sell, sell, sell. Sell triggers over here, breaking down all day yesterday. Sell trigger over here, breaking down all day yesterday. I mean, these are, again, you can use this on anything. It doesn't matter. I could pull it up. I mean, there's going to be symbols that don't perform well. Let's go over here to my Webull list and let's take a look at robotics. Sell, 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 all the way down. Let's look at, I think I have some others in here. Let's look at junior miners. Sell, 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 all the way down. Okay, pretty clean, right? XAR, aerospace and defense, sell, 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 all the way down. Clean triggers. Don't have to really worry about it. ARKB, Bitcoin, sell, 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 with a little buy trigger here at the end. We'll see how that plays out. Where's my other list? I guess that's it. Thought I had more on here. Hold on. XIHI, XBI, SSO. Jets was a pretty big mover over the last couple of days. Sideways, though, but still moved pretty good. IWM, sell, sell, all the way down into a buy mode, looking to build some momentum into the close. AUR, Aurora, Innovations, Package Software, pretty gappy. Tough to trade this with a gap trend, especially when the big move happens early in the morning. Find something else. ARKB, let's take a look at ARKK. Breaking down, pretty solid. Let's take a look at Tesla. Breaking down, solid triggers, little buy over here at the end. Let's take a look at NVIDIA. Breaking down, caught it early. This is 5-minute, remember, breaking down, caught it early, little buy trend here. Pretty good move. Intel was on top of my hot list last week. Nice solid buying trending here. Breaking down over here at the end of the day. Solid move. Let's try Microsoft. Breaking down bearish, breaking down bearish. So you can see downward trending, little flat, downward trending, little flat, downward trending. The whole idea behind this BigMouth strategy is to give you the ability to determine your own trades and determine what best suits your needs. It works on anything, daily, weekly, monthly. I like to set up kind of like a 3-to-1 ratio. So 3 minute to 10 minute is kind of a 3-to-1 ratio here. Okay. So here's our, let's see where we're at. Yep. Let's squeeze this all the way out. There we go. So these tops kind of line up. Get a sell trigger here all the way down. Little flipping here. Sell, sell, buy, buy, sell, buy, sell. So look at this signal here. Red, bearish all the way down. So what you're doing here is you're trying to trade these primary trend directions to the downside. And if you want to take these long trades, you can. Just remember, they've got to be short and sweet. Grab your profits real quick and try to get out of them real quick. So again, you get these BigMouth tools over here on the MENT.com website. If you're interested, the Gunslinger tools are included for free. You come down here, you check out the Gunslinger tools or the Expert Growth subscription. The Expert Growth subscription gives you everything. All of my Gunslinger tools are included for free with your subscription. It's a great way to get started if you're still struggling with trading. Remember, I'm showing you here, SPY, let's come up here. It's pretty simple, guys. How hard do you have to make it? Sell trigger all day long. No reversal, no breaking of this resistance area. We had a sell all day long. You catch this sell, you catch this sell, and you're done. Over here, we had a buy trigger. We traded in this range. Eventually broke the trigger right over here. Fairly flat day, very flat day yesterday. So this would ultimately be our breakdown trend. Really was kind of a sucky day for trading. We still had these buy triggers aligning right over here and right over here. So those aligned with our triggering systems. And then we move into this breakdown trend, which confirmed right over here, setting up kind of a breakdown mode into the end of the day. And that's really how it played out yesterday. Just pretty much flat, go nowhere. Kind of an ugly flat day yesterday. But again, if you're interested in getting these and trying these, come over to MENT.com, learn about it, and remember, it's pretty easy to get started. $74.99 for a 30-day trial or 60-day trial, or $169.99 for a 6-month trial. Now, guys, this is pretty cheap. Okay, you do the math on this; it's like $28 a month. Okay, if these tools help you trade, and you're able to make more than $50 a month, and you like them, and you can get them for 6 months for $28 a month, it's pretty much well worth it for you to check it out. I don't have to be a fool to tell you, but if you know what you're doing a little bit with trading and you have something that can help you make money for 6 months for next to nothing, check it out. Well, not only that, but you get all of my other tools as well. So remember, when you come over here, you get all of this. When you sign up for Expert Growth, you get everything. One price, one subscription, you get everything. So again, I urge you to consider joining if you like it. And if you want access to these new BigMouth tools and my other Gunslinger tools, which is this is the pressure exhaustion system. There's others. We come in here, we go down to the Donchian cycles. There we go. We can come down here to the pressure cycles. We can come down here to the CCI LR, which is one of my favorites. Let me find it. There you go. So now these are some of the Gunslinger tools. You can see directionally bearish, bearish, bearish here. What you want to do with these cycle tools is when you're in a bearish trend, you want to try to sell into these tops. Sell into these tops as they break into these downward trending. Now the CCILR gives you directional trending. This is bearish all the way down. pretty much. This is bearish all the way down, indicating this is weakening trend to the upside, moderate upward trending, still in dominant trending here. Remember, we had the breakdown mode here. But what we're looking at here is in a bearish trending mode here and a bearish trending mode here. When you're in bearish trending here and you get this breakdown cycle, you want to try to sell into these peaks. Oops. That's the idea behind this. You want to try to use these cycle mechanisms to try to identify the best entry points you can. And again, use the BigMouth system for what it is, a great little trigger system. Okay, guys, talk to you later. Go get some.